Basically, like, live your life.
So I feel like you are going to be surprised by my answer, or maybe you won't be. But I wanted to chat about a topic that is literally a dilemma for so many of us. I feel like we all go through this. And like, you know, that feeling when you're wondering, can we actually be friends? Like, can I be friends with an ex? Or am I just being delusional and thinking that I can be just because I still love them? It's such a relatable, like normal question to ask yourself. So let's hang out and get comfortable, okay? This is a really complicated question because it depends. If you try and become friends with your ex at the wrong time, it will inevitably cause problems. Like, if you try to be friends too close to a breakup and the breakup was like really intense, it was like kind of toxic and filled with like lots of emotions, and then, you know, there's still like a lot of love there, obviously, you are basically like irresponsibly getting back together by being friends. And you broke up for a reason, all right? So, like, if you become friends too soon, you might be tempted to get back together. Like, say you become friends quickly after a breakup, you might not be able to like resist each other, which is adorable and like sweet, but you soon realize, like, oh, wait, we broke up for a reason. And then you break up again and you feel way worse than before. Like, it might even end uglier the second time, and it's just not like a fun experience at all. Like, who enjoys heartbreak, honestly? But let's say the breakup was mutual, respectful, peaceful, it like ended really well, and both of you wanted to like go your separate ways, and it didn't end bad at all. And then you try being friends right away. But, you know, it's not fun seeing your ex go on dates. And I feel like if you think that's okay, then you obviously clearly like don't like the person or didn't love them enough, because anyone would get jealous. So let's say you've given it like more than 3 years and you happen to like miss the person and you want to be friends with them and you both no longer like each other. There's like no feelings and you have like your own significant others. Okay. There could still be issues because you obviously want to respect your partner. You don't want to upset them. And it's kind of usually weird when someone seeks to reconnect with an ex while they're in a relationship. So that could still cause issues. Like, I recently reconnected with an ex, like not like an official boyfriend or anything, but we were like unofficially dating, if you know what I mean, like in terms of things you would normally do with someone significant. But anyways, so I recently like reconnected with that person, and it was sort of like reconnecting with like an old friend, someone you were once really close with. It's like a super strange feeling, by the way. So at first, I like liked one of his posts on Instagram. Then he like followed me and like hopped into my DM, said hey, and then we started chatting for days. Okay. Until I suggested that we meet up for coffee and a walk and a talk to like catch up. Like, not going to lie, but for me, it was low-key awkward, like seeing someone that you were so intimate and close with before, and it's been like over like a certain amount of years, like in my case, like over 8 years. But eventually at the same time, like, you know, time's progressed, I've become like more comfortable and, you know, feelings start to come up, which isn't really fun, okay? But it's a normal type of thing if you're an emotional little girl, okay? You know, the reason I'm explaining this story is because I personally feel like you can't be normal friends with an ex, at least in my opinion, because there was a boundary that was previously crossed before. There was like a prior level of closeness and obviously like intimacy, and it's almost just awakening those feelings again. Like, of course, it's totally different if you decide to meet up with an ex and it's been like 9 years later to meet up and it's not that hectic. It's like super chill and you both like don't like each other remotely. And like, I feel like you could be homies in that type of way. I mean, my recent ex-boyfriend who I dated for a very long time, okay, we only recently decided that friends like wasn't the best option for us. Well, I mean, it was like more my decision because obviously it hurts me more, but it was just something that I tried, but it was kind of weird. And it's not something that like I want to do because, you know, there is a boundary that's already been crossed and explored with that person. And simply trying to like deny chemistry and history with someone, I feel like is so irresponsible to do when like trying to move on from that person. Like my last boyfriend was like the love of my life. We just knew each other like so well. And that to me was such a beautiful type of feeling. But when things end, I totally get why people literally preach about cutting ties, going no contact, and taking the time to move on with your life. And we both didn't choose to walk away. We just tried to continue to like be friends. But I feel like, the whole breakup situation just sucks. And I just don't feel like you can be friends with an ex, whether it's been 6 months or 9 years since you last spoke. There has to be a moment where you're like, hey, I've tried the whole friendship route with someone that I loved so dearly, but it's causing me to like spiral, get hurt, and it messes with my mental health too much. Like it's just super hard to navigate. Like you could think that you're over this person, but then you connect with them again and you like rip open a wound and you fall in love with them again. And maybe they don't love you back, or they like are the same person that you broke up with years ago. Like, wow, over 8 years has passed. Maybe, you know what? We could be mature enough to be normal friends. Like we once were super close, but then I started noticing the way he would speak to me or like reiterate to me how little he thinks I've changed, or how there is something about me that he can't put his finger on, but it's something that he really dislikes about me. And that kind of like makes me think like this is just giving me the ick. Okay. Like who even says that to someone? Like why are you even speaking to me if there's something about me that you don't like? And then what happened was that I found myself getting back into like that toxic mindset that I once was in, where I wanted his validation and I wanted to know that, why doesn't he like me? Like, what can I do to change? Almost like I should even care about his opinion. I literally had to tell myself that you need to not go back to a negative pattern where you allow this person again to make you feel like you're lacking something that makes you valuable to them. Like, bro, you're not Justin Bieber, like chill out. And at the same time, not to like make it too deep, but it was always like something that I needed to work on. And it kind of reminded me that it's such an important lesson to notice, because I needed to kind of reflect and ask myself, what do I need to work on still in order to build myself up to a point where I don't allow someone to speak to me in any way that they want? It sort of reminded me why I was so happy not being in contact with that person, and how much his words actually bring me down and affect me to a point where I feel like I don't even know myself. My advice, and it's obviously easier said than done, but if someone is saying all the things they want to change about you, you're welcoming that wrong person into your life, like period. Listen, there is a lot of potential risks when it comes to being friends with your ex. My last boyfriend and I kept contacting each other, and we both wanted to like still have one foot in each other's lives and like one foot in a new type of life. But I know that it was affecting me to a point where I was feeling extremely sad, because you don't want to like let this person go. You love them and it's familiar to you, and you're like remaining in contact just because you feel close to them and you want to feel close to them, and it just makes things so much worse. Well, it did for me. And in my opinion, the only time being friends with an ex works is when you were dating, but you were never like really in love. I feel like being in love is complicated. Like a lot of times we think we are in love, but we're just experiencing a lot of feelings of like lust and delusion. And once that kind of like wears off and we're like, wait, I wasn't in love. Like I believe to my core that if someone loves you, they're going to treat you how they would treat themselves or how they would want to be treated, right? And I feel like if you were able to break up and it can be mutual, you both didn't cry, it wasn't emotional or like gut-wrenching, then I feel like you totally can be friends. The emotions that come with being friends with an ex can sometimes be unexpected, like I'm not going to fall for them again, or I'm not going to get jealous if they go on a date or get flirted with. But you for sure haven't moved on. It realistically could take years to really fully get over them. So obviously do what feels right for you. Like everyone has their own unique healing process, but be careful because you really don't want to catch feels for someone who you've already chosen to like let go of. I feel like we also tend to get in our heads about certain things. Like, what if we are letting go of our soulmate? What if I have regrets not staying with them? Well, I'm not someone to give you like the best life advice on that specific question, but I feel like if something isn't working, like if you're the only person putting in the work and the effort, well, then it's not meant to be at this time. And who says it can't be if you don't let that person go? And I feel like it's meant to be if you're able to let them go, grow, mature, and if you come back to each other, then yay, amazing. But if you don't, then obviously it's something that wasn't meant to be. But you can't like hold on to that type of feeling like, am I letting my soulmate go? And you're like stopping yourself from maybe inviting someone into your life that really will value you and appreciate you and respect you and love you the way that you deserve to be loved. So don't block your blessings, okay? You can't allow that like ideology to hold you back from living a happier life and opening yourself up to someone who actually sees your value. Like I said, it's complicated. Sometimes love can be such a beautiful and like rewarding feeling. And at times, it can really destroy you. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching on YouTube. Definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast episodes every Wednesday. I will be uploading Mondays and Wednesdays, so definitely check it out. I love you. Have an amazing, what was I even doing? Have an amazing day, week, life. Okay. I will see you guys soon. Peace.